Alright lads, let's talk about a controversial topic. Why high-value men sometimes ignore women. Now before you start getting your swords in a twist, hear me out. Ignoring women is not about being cruel or playing games. It's about maintaining your own self-respect and boundaries, and not being willing to settle for just any woman who comes along. High-value men like myself have worked hard to become the men we are today. We've put in the time and effort to develop our skills, build successful careers, and become emotionally and mentally strong. We know our own worth, and we're not willing to settle for just anyone. This is where the issue of ignoring women comes in. When a high-value man meets a woman who doesn't meet his standards or who doesn't align with his values, he may choose to ignore her. This isn't about being rude or hurtful, it's about being honest and upfront. It's better to be clear from the beginning that you're not interested, rather than leading someone on or wasting your own time. Another reason why high-value men may ignore women is that they don't want to compromise their own boundaries or values. A high-value man knows what he wants in a partner and what he's willing to put up with. If a woman is not respecting his boundaries or is not aligned with his values, he may choose to ignore her rather than compromise his own integrity. It's also important to note that high-value men are not interested in playing games or engaging in manipulative behavior. If a woman is playing hard to get or trying to manipulate him in some way, he may choose to ignore her rather than play along. A high-value man values honesty and authenticity, and he's not interested in any kind of game playing. Of course, it's important to remember that ignoring women should not be a default behavior for high-value men. It should only be used when necessary and with the utmost respect and integrity. High-value men should always strive to treat women with kindness and respect, even if they're not interested in pursuing a relationship. High-value men may sometimes choose to ignore women in order to maintain their own self-respect, boundaries, and values. It's not about being cruel or playing games, but rather about being honest and upfront. High-value men value honesty, authenticity, and integrity, and they're not willing to compromise these values for just anyone. Remember, lads, it's better to be true to yourself and what you want in a partner than to settle for anything less. I want to finish with a story, so listen well. I've seen many men in my travels who seem to ignore women altogether, and it got me thinking about my own experiences. I remember a time when I was traveling with a group of men, and one of them was constantly trying to impress every woman he came across. He would spend all his time and energy trying to gain their attention, and it was clear that he was not being his true self. His behavior was not only unattractive, but it was also exhausting for everyone around him. On the other hand, there was another man in our group who seemed to ignore women altogether. He was polite, but he didn't go out of his way to impress them or seek their attention. At first I thought he was just being aloof, but as I got to know him better, I realized that he had a different perspective. He explained to me that his focus was on becoming the best version of himself, and he didn't want any distractions that could derail his progress. He wasn't ignoring women out of arrogance or disdain. He was simply choosing to prioritize his own self-improvement over trying to impress or attract them. At first I was skeptical of his approach, but over time I began to see the wisdom in it. By ignoring the need for external validation, he was able to focus on what truly mattered, his own growth and development. And in doing so, he became a high-value man, the type of man that women were naturally attracted to. Now, I'm not saying that men should completely ignore women or treat them poorly. That's not what being a high-value man is all about. Rather, it's about recognizing that your own self-improvement should be your primary focus, and that attracting women will naturally follow because of that growth. So to all the men out there who feel like they need to constantly impress or seek validation from women, take a step back and focus on your own self-improvement. Become the best version of yourself, and the rest will fall into place. Remember, you don't need anyone's approval to be a high-value man. The strength and resilience you need are already within you.